JB.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
What's going on, my brother? How you doing, man?
Good, Zach. How you doing, brother?
We're doing great, man. We just got done blasting Sacramental Gore, and I got to tell you, man, that fucking slow part at the very end when it slows down, you do the riff again, automatically made me make that fucking. It made me make that mean kid's face, man. Fucking yeah, dude.
There you go. That's what it's supposed to do.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. So what the fuck is going on? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I mean, I had an injury last Thursday where my bicep detached from my shoulder, so that made drumming difficult. But I'm on the mend, and we'll be at band practice next weekend. So.
Hell yeah. So what the hell? What happened, man? What did you do?
It's an injury I think I've had for a while, and it just finally decided it was going to take a shit on me. I've had cortisone shots. I've had my rotator cuff rebuilt. I've got a laundry list of injuries, and I was a brick block and stonemason for years, and I just destroyed my body. And but I'm good. I'm good. So I'm swinging sticks again next weekend. That's all that matters.
That's fucking brutal, man. You don't fucking stop, dude. I know. I mean, that's a hell of a fucking thing to happen for a drummer too. A singer maybe can get away with it, but fucking
right.
You're playing the drums, man. You need your arms.
What's ironic is my bass player had the same thing happen like 4 months ago.
No shit.
Yeah. So we're just we're a band of detached biceps.
Hell yeah, man. Shit happens, dude. Well, so tell us, man. Well, give us a brief history on the band Bloodshot itself. I mean, how did this whole thing happen, and how did you guys get started?
Well, I mean, I was in a band called War Engine for 10 or 12 years, and my best friend and guitar player passed away in 2018, and we buried that band, and then I took some time to mourn, and was dying to jam again. So I started trying to put together another band. I'd met Jared, who was our vocalist at Doom Fest, and he just wanted to take an attempt at being a vocalist, and he nailed it so hard. I was like, we're gonna do something else. Joe, my bass player, was the original bass player for Earthride. Long time friend, and he was itching to do something. Mm-hmm. He was in Chowder for a while, and I said, hey, I'm trying to get a new thing together, and he was on board instantly, and he came up. We auditioned a few guitar players, and Tom, who is now our guitar player, was in Slippery Pot Pie and Stick Figure, and a bunch of my old bands used to play with his bands, but he came up, and he hadn't jammed like in 10 years with anybody, and he was also foaming at the mouth. And once we all got together, man, it clicked so quick that I think within 8 months, we were in the studio doing our first LP, which was Sins of the Father. That was a 10-song LP, and I think it sounds really great.
Hell yeah.
It's diverse. It's got a lot of, you can tell the different influences from each member. Exactly 365 days later, we were in the same studio doing our next LP, which is Sacramental Gore. It's a little bit more aggressive. I think we found the sound that we were searching for. People seem to dig it, and we're writing our third album now, and we're sifting through about 23 songs to decide which ones we're going to keep for the next album. So we'll be back in the studio this year for album number 3, and it's the best band I've ever been in. We just connect. Nobody's got a girlfriend on crack. Nobody lives in their van. Everybody's got jobs. Everybody shows up for practice, and they're dedicated, and it's awesome. I'm almost 54 years old. And it took me all this time to find a band that has their shit together.
Man, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that, dude. Like, I mean, it happened, and this is bad fucking ass, dude. I love it, man. This record and the last one is fucking awesome, dude. I was just listening to the other one the other day on fucking Bandcamp, man.
Dude, thank you very much. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. I enjoy it. To listen to your own music and it's probably one of my favorite bands, and I just happen to be the drummer, so it's cool.
That's what it's all about, man, right there, dude. So, well, I gotta ask you too, man. The fucking Maryland Doom Fest, dude. Like, that shit is fucking insane, man. You guys are about to celebrate your 10th year this year, man. Tell us about that.
Yes, we are.
How did
so, you know, it's the previous 9 years have been just nothing but a huge party, a whole bunch of people making new friends, great music, awesome bands. 10-year anniversary, I'm super excited. We've always done 2 venues, you know, and had to kind of overlap bands. My other venue took a shit on us a couple months ago, and we scrambled like crazy. And my main venue, which is Cafe 611, stepped up to the plate. And now we've got 2 stages in there, and we have nonstop music for 4 days. We have no overlap of bands. When one band is done on stage 1, stage 2 starts instantly. So it's going to be a great time. It's all in one building. I'm excited because, you know, I don't care how you look at it. Every band's going to have a massive crowd.
Hell yeah.
We've got some great acts. I've got a couple repeats. You know, there are certain bands that I got to keep bringing back, but we've got 10 Ton Slug from Ireland. I've got Sons of Ericus from Canada. Got Lie Heavy, which has Carl Agel as the singer. He was the vocalist on Corrosion of Conformity's Blind album, which is one of my favorite albums ever. It's just the lineup, I think, is stacked, so stacked. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm counting down the minutes.
Man, you guys always have a stacked fucking lineup, dude. Every year that I see the flyers, man, I'm like, holy fuck, I'm just drooling, man. I'm like, fuck, I need to get back up there, man.
Diggus is a band that Lothar turned me on to from the Skull.
Yeah.
They're from the Netherlands, and they're coming over here to jam for us American citizens, and I think it's going to be fantastic. You know, I've got Cirith Ungol. I think this might be, if you don't come see Cirith Ungol at Doomfest, you may never see them ever again.
Ah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Dude, you talk about, you mentioned bringing certain bands back, you know, and that's a funny subject because I know exactly what you're talking about right there. You know, like, there's certain bands that you become friends with and you just sort of you can't seem to see it happening without them. Am I right?
You're correct. Their enthusiasm to play this fest is overwhelming. They promote so well for me, and they always bring it. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a band that played on our stages that didn't bring it. I mean, every year I've got 52. This year I've got 53 bands, and they're just certain folks that just need to be there. People kind of expect to see them. So I do have certain bands that have played 3 or 4 times over the last 10 years, and it's because they've earned it.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. You know, Maryland is a fucking crazy place, man. Like, I lived there for a while in the late 80s, early 90s, man. And
that was a great time to live here.
Yeah. I remember there was a radio station out of Baltimore called The Underground. I can't remember what the dial was on it, but I used to listen to that fucking thing religiously, and like they just played everything, man. Like, you know, that's before the internet, so it was like that was all you had, and there was just so much, man. They were so passionate about what they were doing. It was a huge influence on me, man. Like, it's probably a big reason why I'm even sitting here doing this now today, to be honest.
Zach, that what you're talking about is the whole reason that triggered me doing the first Doomfest 10 years ago. I grew up playing in a couple bands. I played in Outside Truth, and we were with Internal Void and The Obsessed and Saint Vitus and Unorthodox and Asylum and just so many, Wretched, Earthride, all these bands came out of this melting pot. And back when you're talking about the late 80s, early 90s, was a enormous impact on me. And I went and saw these bands, and I wasn't familiar with what doom was, quote unquote. Point blank, it's Black Sabbath influenced music. But there were so many talented bands that came out of it. They became my favorite bands that I've ever heard in my life. And I was into it so much. And then as I got older, I watched it starting to fade, and it was starting to disappear. And I was like, people didn't know what I've experienced. Don't forget about these guys. So the first year was Doomfest 1, and it was only supposed to be one time to reunite all these bands and get them back. And I got Internal Void, and I got my old band Outside Truth. 20 years later, we reunited to play it, and there were just so many bands. I got Spirit Caravan to reunite, you know, and it went over so well. And people, I mean, I had people for the first fest that came from Norway to come check out these bands, and yeah, I couldn't stop, dude. I couldn't stop. And since then, it's brought back recognition to the Maryland, which I consider to be the Doom capital. All these bands in recognition to where we are now, as far as these bands that are there's bands that are taking the torch, the younger guys, you know, and they adore that music, and they're bringing some new shit. And I need people to hear them. They need to be promoted, you know, and they need to be heard. And so I'll get a big band like Serathungal and, you know, the big boys that are headlining, but put the bands that you're not aware of in front of you, and then now you're aware of them. And I get a lot of criticism from some people that comment and say, "Man, I ain't heard of half of these bands." Dude, that's deliberate. Right. It's 100% deliberate.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I totally agree with you 100% on that, man. Like, I mean, yeah, you got to, man. You know, there's so many other festivals out there, and they do a great, you know, they do a good job on what they do, and they bring what they bring, but there's got to be places for the underground bands to get out there and share the spotlight too, you know. Like, I mean, they just
Maryland Doom Fest is a launch pad. That's all it is. I'm putting them on stage. I'm letting people realize just how great these bands are that you're unaware of, and they do take off from there. I mean, Walter at Roadburn will take bands that I've you know, highlighted, and they're playing Roadburn, you know, the next year, and that's what it's all about. It's just making sure everybody's aware of talent they're missing out on.
Hell yeah, man. You've had some fucking serious fucking legends on your stage too, man. You know, like fucking fucking Pentagram, fucking The Obsessed, fucking
Spirit Caravan, Captain Beyond,
yeah,
Weed Eater, Bang, you know, I mean, on and on. Great acts, guys that thought they were done playing and get back together and come and jam for us and put on a show like I'll never forget every time.
From a fan's perspective, what was it like fucking hanging out with those bands and getting to meet them and hanging out with them like that, you know?
Surreal. Yeah, surreal. Somebody like Bobby Caldwell from Captain Beyond, I was nuts about them when I was younger. And then they disappeared forever. And then they came back, and in their first show, they played Maryland Doom Fest. And out of 10 years, that's probably my highlight of performances. I mean, they crushed us. Bang was another one. They actually played twice for Doom Fest, and the show was surreal. That's the only word I can say. I would look around the audience, and I'd see everybody, and everybody was just kind of like in awe. When I got Unorthodox back together as Asylum with the original Asylum lineup, what a show, buddy. I mean, my goodness, they brought it so bad. Internal Void, their final show was Doomfest, and it was, you know, it's spiritual, it's emotional, you know, it's a huge family that gets together, and bands that think they're done decide that they're not done until they play Doomfest. That's important to me.
Hell yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about, man. One of my favorite bands, Witches of God, played at one of your festivals, man. I love those guys, man. Fucking I think that's the first band that's ever mentioned me in the fucking liner notes in their record, man. And when I got that and I read, opened it up and looked in there and saw that, it fucking blew my mind, dude. But like, they are so fucking obscure, man. I tried to reach out to them to see if they did do interviews and stuff, but they were like, we don't do that kind of shit. But
they're better than they think they are.
They are so good, man, so good.
Part of that story is Jason Taylor. He was in Witches of God. He was also in Sierra. He's also now, for the first time ever, the second guitar player for the Obsessed.
Yeah, dude, and he's crushing it.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I go way back with them boys. Which is a guy, when I first heard them, I was just like, you guys need to come to Maryland. They did come from, they were all over the place, because Kyle Anta, he became the Obsessed drum tech, I think, and he was in Witches of God. I think briefly he was in Sierra also. So yeah, it's a melting pot of musicians, and everybody just kind of just moved around through bands, and the best of the best make the best bands. Period.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Have you heard anything from? I guess Jason's busy with the Obsessed, but like, I wonder if Witches of God will put out anything new or anything. I know they deleted their fucking social media and everything. Like, they went into complete. Like,
I'm thinking that right now they are probably not active.
Man. Well, the Obsessed is fucking badass. So that new record, I've been fucking playing it for like the past few weeks, man. Just it's so that's definitely one of the best records this year, man.
Wino does no wrong, bro. Period.
No, he don't. I had him on the show a while back too, man, for the last record that he put out. And that guy, he's a character, man. I watched...
he's a good friend of mine, and he just keeps putting it out, man. He's in his 60s. I did his 60-year birthday in Maryland at Cafe 611, and, now he's, 63, and he is still kicking ass.
Have you seen that documentary that he put out?
Yes, I have. Of course.
Man,
absolutely.
That was fucking bad fucking ass, dude.
It's been a long road.
One of my favorite parts was when Bobby was sitting on the bed talking about one of his favorite riffs. I think it was The Way She Flies.
Yep. Yep.
Hell yeah, dude. But yeah,
those are the Godfathers right there you're talking about, right? Okay. His Pentagram, the Obsessed, they're the Godfathers.
They are, man. They're like fucking pirates, dude. Like the life that they lived, it's amazing to me that they're even still alive, to be honest with you. Like, the shit that they've gone through and they've done, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, the fact that they're still kicking is kind of amazing.
It is. Well, I mean, and I'm not trying to put anybody down or anything, but like, you see all these people fall, and it's like, fuck, man. But you got people like that are still out there just fucking tearing it up, and I don't know. Keith Richards.
Like Keith Richards.
Yeah. There you go. He's still fucking kicking, man. I know when that motherfucker falls over, dude, that's gonna be some serious shit, man. Even the
I thought Lemmy was gonna live forever.
Yeah. Even the guys in Sabbath too. I mean, they're all still alive and they're all still fucking kicking, man.
Yep. Yes, sir. I plan on being that guy too.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, man. Well,
so let me just put a couple plugs out there real quick, Zach, while I got you on the phone. Just things that people should know. We've got 53 bands. We got 4 days of Doom Fest. It's one band right after the other. There is no overlap. You'll never miss a single act. They're in the same building, the same room, or in 2 different rooms. We have Super 8 of Frederick, who is it's been nicknamed the Soup, which is the Doom Hotel. They offer 15% discount to all Doomfest attendees. We provide shuttles to and from the venue and the hotel. It's a party there. They treat us great. They treat our patrons awesome. It's going to be a great time. This is the 10-year anniversary. This is not to be missed, buddy. And if you do, and you decide to stay home and sit on your couch rather than join us, you'll regret it.
I am definitely going to try my best to fucking make it up there this year, man. I really want to, man.
Yeah, you and Raven need to come on out, man. Experience it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, are there any other, anything else? Actually, let me ask you, man, looking back on your career and everything and everything you've done with the Maryland Doom Fest, are there any highlights, any fucked up crazy things that people maybe don't know about that you could tell us about?
Not so much, and I think that's a good thing, because in 10 years, I think we've only had one time, maybe two, where people got out of hand. Where they got so hammered that they had to be carried out, and they fought the whole way out the door. But anybody that's ever been to Doomfest can concur with what I'm going to say. It's a huge family that welcomes everybody, and when you're there, it's an experience like I could have never, ever anticipated it being that way. We have brought people in that weren't really familiar with doom metal genre, and they became family and adored it and won't miss it. Gry and Tomas are friends of mine from Norway that took the time and believed in me enough that they came from Norway for my very first Doomfest. That's quite a flight. And they have been coming every year since, but every year they come and they bring more of their family members, to where when they came to Doomfest last year, there was 11 of them, nieces and uncles and brothers and sisters, and they all rent a house, and they just love coming here and hearing the music and digging the Americans. Okay. So it's, I'm not bragging too much about it, but somebody tell me I'm wrong. If you don't come, you're going to regret it, period.
Well, man, I think that's an important thing that you just brought up right there, too, is like it's kid-friendly. Like families can come and they can bring their kids, too, and that's a huge deal,
all ages.
Man.
All ages. Bring your kids. They have a ball. I mean, I have certain patrons, which are good friends of mine, and they bring their kid every time, and those kids are looking forward to it. It's an experience that they never could have imagined. Any kid that goes to a concert, it's overwhelming, but it's different at Doomfest. There's no overwhelming except for the acts.
Oh yeah, I'm good friends with Tommy from Black Dimba Records, also, man, and he's been there a few times. He's told me nothing but good things about you guys, man.
Tommy Stewart has supported us the whole time. And he's a sponsor of ours. Actually, sets up a vending table, and Tommy's awesome.
Hell yeah, man! All right, well, I guess I'm about out of questions for you. Is there anything else you want to let the people know?
I just want to say that a festival of this size, we call it 4 Days of Doom, because you've got to be a trooper if you can handle all 4 days. And you can witness 53 bands in one weekend, which is more than most people can see in a few years. It's the best music you'll ever hear. I think the price is the fairest of a fest of this size. I mean, I'll just be dead honest with you. It's $129 for a weekend pass. We're going to shuttle you from your hotel. Nobody's drinking and driving, and it will be something that will make you want to come back. There's nobody that's ever came to Doomfest that says, I'm not coming back next year.
Fuck yeah, man.
And Bloodshot's playing this year also, so come check us out.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, for people out there listening, where can they go to support Bloodshot? Where can they go to get some merch, buy CDs or vinyl or anything like that?
We're Bloodshot Band on Facebook. We're bloodshot.frederick.usa on Instagram. We're just hit us up. The best thing to do is we're not posers, and we're also not big heads. Just send me a private message if you want some. We have some T-shirts, we got some stickers, we got CDs. Our record label is Half Beast Records, and Nervous Breakdown Records in coalition with Half Beast Records, so that we can get UK distribution. But if you go to nervousbreakdownrecords.com, you can find either one of our CDs, and we should have another one out probably within the next 6 to 8 months.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
And we're playing a fest up in Kane, Pennsylvania on July 27th with the Obsessed and Thunder Horse and Strange Highways and Balejack, and it's gonna be a good time.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, dude, you should fucking submit to the fucking Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest, man. We'd love to have you down here some year, man.
Give me the details, brother. We're there.
We will, man. I'll have my people talk to your people.
Yep, have your people call my people.
All right. Well, JB, before I let you go, can I get you to make us a station tag real quick?
In what sense? What do you mean?
Whenever
hashtag 4 days of doom?
Whenever you're ready, say something like, "This is JB from Bloodshot Maryland Doom Fest, and you're listening to Maryland Metal Devastation Music."
Hey guys, this is JB Matson, drummer for Bloodshot, also the owner and operator of the Maryland Doom Fest. I am talking to you with Zach Moonshine from the Metal Devastation Radio, and dig it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast some more Bloodshot for these motherfuckers and go crazy, all right?
Thank you very much, buddy.
Hey, man, anytime, dude. This is great to talk to you, and hope your fucking arm feels better, man.
I'm good. I'm good. Next week, and I'm telling you, I'm beating them skins again.
That's what I'm talking about, man. All right, man. We'll talk to you later, dude.
All right, bro. Thank you very much, Zach.
Later. There you have it, folks. JB Matson from the fucking Maryland Doom Fest and Bloodshot live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation motherfucking radio. Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your fucking windows, put them in your front lawns, put them in your neighbor's driveway. Do whatever the fuck you got to do, man. If you're living in the basement, duct tape your speakers to the ceiling. If you're in the attic, point your speakers at the floor. Or just, if you have speaker wire long enough, carry your speakers out into the yard and point them at the neighbor's house and fucking crank this shit, man. Loud as a fuck. I'm serious, man. If you don't see U-Haul trucks everywhere tomorrow, what the fuck are you even doing, man? Crank it up, motherfuckers.